Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is your favorite dark sorcerer here. And today I'd like to kind of just discuss some things that have come up in my own studies of necromancy. Now, we know in demonolatry, certain things like silver rings held up to the face will protect you from, say, Astaroth's breath or that of a Maimon, according to E.A. Coedin. Okay. Those are the two types of angelic beings that have breath that is like spears to the flesh. Now, what about gems? What about crystals? We know that in pagan and Wiccan society, shamanism, even in voodoo and African Caribbean based religions. Hey, Miss B. So we know that a lot of people and a lot of these white lighters really hold strongly to gems and crystals. Now, personally, I never really thought about it because I'm so used to working as a traditional Satanist, a dark wit, a warlock, a practitioner of black magic and sorcery. So, I mean, using things for protection or for amplifying your personal rituals is something I never really conceived of until recently. Now, last month I was asked to perform some rituals. I've had some individuals come to me and inquire about rituals that didn't deal with stones. Now, as a practicing necromancer of about a year and a half on a professional level now, a full-time basis, I've actually delved into doing research and on various applications of necromancy, the tools and the items that are utilized by a necromancer. More so, I've been doing a lot of exploring of graveyards at night. Okay. Looking for items that are considered to be dark totems, things that are associated to be links between the graveyard and one's personal altar. It's also been suggested that before you work with any spirit that you get an altar made of made up for necromancy. Okay. So I've been getting a lot of praise on this, on my work over the last week since I started doing this Black Fast and this month long necromancy um, ritual that I've been doing every single night in a graveyard while I'm exploring and chanting. So now that you kind of get that little backdrop, let's get into it. There are three main stones that I'm in the process of studying. Okay. Not only studying, but kind of hunting down. Now, there's a place downtown called the Rock Shop. Okay. I contacted them today and they actually have jade starting at $5 and going up depending on the amount or quantity that you're looking to purchase. Now, jade is linked to necromancy due to the balancing factor, the harmonizing factor. Basically, the nephrite is how it's pronounced, otherwise known as necromancer's jade, you can type in necromancer's jade and you're not going to come up with it. So you actually got to type in jade and spirituality. So typing this in, you really find a lot of good information about this one item. Jade is a purifying agent. It is an item that not only purifies as a stone, but it's also a protection, which is I found very interesting. Because necromancy deals in death essences, one really wants to stave off that Da'ath essence, that death essence. So, especially for a long time. But I also found out that jade is in certain Asian communities is considered to ward off evil spirits. It also brings good luck. Jade can be worn in rings, bracelets, just a plain stone, or it could be utilized as an amulet, a talisman. I found this very interesting, the different uses just for this. But to see where jade brings in purifying, purity, protects the loving heart. It means harmony and balance and symbolizes both gentleness and nourishment. In spirituality, in Asian cultures, jade is said to be a warding against good or against evil spirits, and it brings good luck. Okay, so to see all that, and then to go into actually typing into jade and finding out the different types of jade. For an example, nephrite and jadeite, okay, are two spellings. Nephrite is Nephrite. Jade, jadeite, jadeite is Jadeite. Okay. But what I found interesting as well is that this one type of stone can come in at least 9 different varieties. You have green, lavender, red, orange, yellow, brown, gray, black, and white. Okay. So, I mean, there's still so much about the stones that we really need to get into, especially when dealing with this practice. Now, stones like quartz crystals and black onyx, in demonolatry and spirituality, such as paganism, quartz crystals are used for protection. Okay? Bigger the better. Okay? And you can set them up, charge them up for protection, use them as spiritual traps and stuff. But the black onyx is really good for summoning spirits such as the demonic, the demurge. But when you type in things like necromancy and stones and gems, you really don't get much outside of video games these days. So you really have to delve into the stones themselves. Like, for an example, I was looking at jade. I typed in how jade is associated with necromancy. And it brought up this book series, and it was like, what the hell? So I started delving in just individually, and I started going down through these links one by one. Because how you Google something and you got the main, definition, and then underneath that you have these little arrows that can get these little proverbs. Well, I was going down through these proverbs just on jade, and I found one that ironically had nothing to do with jade. And the reason for this is because when we go into the Greek definition, not the Latin, of necromancy, okay, but the Greek necromancy, okay. Today, necromancy is definition by the use of dead bodies or that of spiritual conjuration, okay. We know that necromancy is not only spiritual conjuration, but also spiritual rejuvenation of the corpse. Okay? Necromancy is that working with the dead. It is the art of death magic, black magic. Okay? Whereas the Latin version is nigromancy. And a lot of people shy away from the term nigromancy because of the fact that it is the art of black magic. And the reason, the thought form behind this is because of the fact that they believe that necromancy brings a much clearer and more, how should I say this, a non corrupted version. Okay. I guess it's the easiest way to say it, the cleaner version. Okay. And that's because everybody today wants to make everything about race. They want to make it about creeds. They want to make it about them, instead of the actual practices. You go back 1,000 years and you're gonna get nigromancy, the Latin version. You go into ancient Greek and you get Nicaea. Okay. So I mean, there's more than one definition of there's at least three different types of necromancy that's been out there through spiritual conjuration. So to find the definition necro associated with topaz, okay, a stone known as topaz. And that's the next one I'm going to delve into and really write down and kind of study this one as well. I haven't had a chance to get into these next two because of the fact that I've been the last hour and a half to 2 hours, I've really been focusing my attention on jade. So the first one is jade. The second one is topaz. And the third is marble. Okay. Think of it as a marble can be anything from a tombstone, a slab of concrete from a tombstone, to an actual marble top for your altar that is mixed in with, say, your own blood, your own packs, the how should I say this? The cremation ash is the definition that you want to go with, because those of you who have actually made pacts with demons or angelics or even jinn, okay, when you burn these pacts and you unleash its power and you send it to Lucifer's Raphael, the scribe and pact maker, what you are indeed doing is you're activating and acknowledging this pact between you and the being that you made it with. Okay. Now, you go back even further and you're going to go into ancient Mesopotamia. And in ancient Mesopotamia, you have a deitas known as a king of hell. Okay. And his name is Mephistopheles. Okay. In ancient Greece, Mephistopheles was actually one of the deities that they worshipped. Okay. Because it was in that southern province of Mesopotamia, because it was such a wide, expanse area. Now, to see where marble plays in as a purifying, a much more energy-based source, that is something that's very unique. And there's a lot of information that, I'm delving into just on that alone. So I'm actually coming at this from multiple different angles. I'm not just going out and exploring the graveyards. Okay. I'm literally looking for petitioning the spirits to bring me a dark object. Okay. And what's ironic is these dark objects can be either an athame, it could be a chalice, it could be a block of wood. Okay. It could be a broken tombstone. Okay. One of those little chipped concrete marble based, things, section of a tombstone that is broken off or was chipped away and is laying there on the ground. Okay. So just to make it clear, you don't have to desecrate a tomb. You do not have to decimate a crypt. You do not have to decimate or violate any legal laws when going to a cemetery. Okay? When you go into a cemetery, petition the spirits to bring one of these to you. You would be surprised at how many times when you petition a spirit, they'll want, and you give them the opportunity and give them a wide range to work with, not just things that are there at the cemetery, but things that you can bring with you. Okay. Now, it gives them a chance to look at everything and say, okay, I'm going to bless this. I'm going to put this on this. Okay. For you to take with you. This is your link between the cemetery and your personal altar. Now, personally, something like a block of wood that is found there from like a tree that is put in your path. Okay. Because a lot of times, especially over the last week when I've gone in there, I've even been led to one tomb in general. Okay. One grave in general where it's surrounded. It's got literally four tombs up front, four graves up front. And it's got this literally a square, almost like a broken square, if you wish, of rock around it. Okay. And you got this walkway that goes right up to the main grave. Okay. I've been led to this time and time again over the last week. More so, every so often, I get this feeling where I can't sit still, like I'm gonna pass out, or that I'm ready to, I just can't sit still. I can't focus, so I end up walking, and I end up walking to different portions of the graveyard, petitioning them to show me and to lead me to these secrets. And it's amazing because of the fact that the other day, just yesterday alone, while I was walking, I found several good things. One of them was a block of wood. Okay, an old tree branch that was so light. It was like it had been used in a Predator movie for like a suit of armor. You figure armor is heavy. So, but this was so light. It was a good size. It was like that thick. Okay, and about that long. Okay, so it was really big. But I left it there last night because if that's the way it is, if that's what they want me to bring home, then I want to see if they will lead me back to it at least two or three times, because of the fact that if it's meant to be, they will lead you to it at least two or three times. It won't just be once. And I want the real thing. I want what they send me or lead me to. Okay. So when we get into stones and we get into materials, jade is just one of them. Topaz is another, and then you have marble. Now I've been doing research all day just on marble alone. Okay, and I've just been reading up on it, and there's so much different colors of it, different sections. And one of the things that I've been reading about when it comes to this stuff is how to tell the real from the fake. Okay, there's techniques. There's actually a video on Google that will show you how to tell the difference between the real and a fake. For an example, a simple way is using your fingernail. If you guide your fingernail over it and it leaves a scratch, it is fake. Okay? Number two, if you put it up to your face, a real stone will be cold to the touch. It will be cool to the touch. Okay? Whereas the fake won't be cool. It will not be smooth. It will be warm. Okay. Another object is a pin. Okay. Just your regular wall tack. Heat it up and kind of just like so across that gem. Okay. If it scratches, it is fake. And one of the big things, you can take it to a jeweler and test its authenticity. Okay. Now, these you can do with just about any stone, any ring, anything that you want, okay, that you have. But dealing with necromancy or anything spirituality wise, you really, really want the spirits to give it to you. Okay. You can't just walk in and go, oh, well, you know what? I like that. I like that tombstone. I'm just going to bring it home with me. It's small. It's light. Yeah, I'll just carry it off. No, don't work like that. Okay. I know when I've asked spirits for things, they've always led me to them. I've given them the opportunity, the free will to do so. I've never had to force them to do anything that they don't want to do. They're willing to help you. You just got to open yourself up and give them that opportunity to do so. I know for a fact a lot of people today, they want it here and now. And it's like, yeah, good luck with that. You know, not everything is meant for you. Not everything is in your face. You actually have to work for it. Okay. To quote something from, a scripture from the Christian Bible, what may work for me will not work for you, and what will work for you will not work for me. This is out of the book of Corinthians. Okay. Now, I can't remember if it's the first one or the second one, so you're going to have to delve into that one or at least Google it. Okay. Now, I'll keep you up to date on my research into crystals, into gems, and into my necromantic journey throughout this month because I am continuing the fast and I am, the black fast. I'm continuing to do the necromantic rituals that has been put in my plate into my on my plate, and I will continue to update you on it, and I will continuously bring you my work. Okay. If a lot of this resonates with you, cool. If you want to walk in this path, at least now you have some information on where to begin and how to do it. And that's a good thing. Okay. But like any good author, I'm only giving you tidbits, just enough to whet your appetite. You're going to have to do the work yourself. Okay. I can lead you to the water trough, but you got to be the one to take that drink. Okay. It's like being led to the door. I can't open the door for you. You have to open it yourself. You're welcome, Miss B. So, like I said, I will keep you updated on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, the different paths. One of the suggestions that was put in front of me today was the fact that I need to finish setting up my altar and for a necromantic altar instead of a demonic altar. Even though, the individual that came to me, you know, enjoyed my altar and said, really loved my altar, but I do understand the fact that necromancy deals with death essences. It's not demonic or infernal essences like dealing with demons, fallen angels, even, fire and brimstone type stuff. Now, this is pure death that you're dealing with. Okay. So, necromancy deals with the dead. Okay. That's why it's called chiromancy. This is why it's called reanimation, why it's called conjuration of spirits, why it's known as Nikia in ancient Greek, the most earliest form and spelling of spiritual conjuration. Okay? So really delve into that, look into it, research it. Okay? Don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid to go into a cemetery at night, even though they say that it's closed between this time and that time. As long as you don't destroy things, as long as you don't sit there and disrespect the spirits or that grave, yard. You don't have to break laws. Just go in and let the spirits lead you. Let them bring things to you. Let them bestow upon you what they wish to. Okay? All you have to do is make yourself known and put the petition forth for what you are seeking from them. Okay? Make sure to give offerings. Make sure to give a sacrifice even. Okay? But what you take into that cemetery, make sure that you do not leave anything behind. Okay? Bring it with you to and from. Okay? Now, with that said, I hope this has been an intellectual video. I hope it's been educational. And until next time, I want to thank Miss B, Shelly333, and Lowland. Welcome back, Lowland. And Shelly. Okay? Have a good day, and I'll keep you updated on my research and everything.